Welcome.
Welcome.
What's up?
So, we have a podcast now, officially, and this is our first episode. Why are you just looking at me, dude? Why are you just looking at me, dude?
Because it's just as awkward as I thought it would be. That's why.
It's
All right,
it's not though.
Come on, we gotta break the ice.
It's cool, bro. I can cut that out.
This is the first podcast, right? NML podcast.
This is our first podcast, NML, No Man's Land.
What's NML?
First off, I'm going to introduce myself.
Yeah.
And you're going to introduce yourself. My name is Reese, and I've been working out and training and doing all this jazz for about 10 years now. And I think Tristan is not far behind. How many years have you been?
I've been training Reese for about 9 years now. No, but my name's Tristan, and I've been training for about 9 years. If I was to say like how long I've been training seriously, more like about 8 years.
Yeah, same. I've been 10 years for sure lifting. I'd say probably 6 to 8 years actually knowing what the heck I'm doing. Yeah. But I think everybody has to kind of go through that phase of like trying things and figuring out what works for them, because it's not everything's going to work the same for everybody. So, but 6 years I've been actually have a good idea of like how to build muscle. So I started off really skinny. I was 130 pounds. Back in high school, that's when I officially like found out about Tristan. And this guy was just so strong. He was so strong in high school, and I kind of like didn't like him. I didn't hate him or anything, because I never talked to him. I didn't know him or anything, but he was lifting like heavy stuff, and I saw videos of him like deadlifting a bunch of weight, and I was just like, deadlifting 315. I think you were already in high school. Did you get up to 500?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, this guy. But it was that little bit of competitiveness that I think every guy should have, in the back of their head. If somebody is on your level, near your level, or above your level, you should have that kind of itch that's like makes you want to be better. And I think that's mainly what it was. I didn't actually hate you, bud.
I mean, you kind of hated me.
I did.
Yeah,
I didn't hate you.
We've never even exchanged words with each other. But
Never.
I remember because I had, let's take the story way back. I had some classes at the time in high school with his old ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
If that's okay to mention.
Yes,
and
it's fine.
I would see him only when he would come to bring her to class or like whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was like, who is this dude? That dude's huge. I've never seen him in my life. And then I found out it was her name's Haley, Haley's boyfriend, and
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, that dude's jacked. And then apparently he hated me because I was strong. So
yeah,
we hated each other and didn't know each
other. It was that little bit of like competitiveness. Like I said, it's just I wanted to be that strong, obviously, and I wasn't even close at the time. But it is what it is, and look where we are today. It's kind of crazy how things play out. But after high school, we ended up training together a couple times with a group of our friends, and we hit it off, and now we're training together a lot more.
Let's go even further back, baby.
How far?
This dude is weird. I'm gonna start with that. This guy is weird.
Going back, dude?
He Snapchatted me out of nowhere.
Did I really? Oh, the
videos of him playing with tech decks. You remember that? So we both actually liked a lot of the same stuff, which is why we were told we would probably be good friends.
Yeah, a lot of yeah.
Yeah.
My ex-girlfriend would always say that me and Tristan would be like really good friends just because of all the things we had in common and stuff, and we do have like a lot of things in common. Yeah. But yeah, I do remember that. We both had skateboarding in common and guitar and just music in general, weightlifting. Like that's like the triple combo, right? And I remember sending him a video of little tech decks.
He's like, I can make these. I can make you a tech deck with real grip tape. And I'm like, that's cool, bro.
I was making them out of wood, like actually making them out of wood.
So that's like, that was our introduction.
Yeah,
that's where we started talking.
That was a strange introduction. And how did we end up training together the first time? Was the first time at Anytime?
It was at Anytime Fitness.
Was that when everybody was there?
Yep.
Yeah, so our boy Dylan was there, our boy Carter. Who else was there? Bryce was there, my cousin Bryce. Is that it? I think that's it. We have a picture. I'll put it up on the screen if I can find it. But yeah, that was like the first time we really trained together. And after that session, I think we all kind of hit it off, because that was really the first time that I met any of y'all besides Dylan. I've been knowing Dylan forever. Me and Dylan were like the two young guys at Anytime for like the longest. But Carter knew me for a while. He followed me on Instagram and all kinds of stuff, but I never really knew who he was. And then that day we trained, I met him for the first time. And I don't know. They all train hard, and like that's what I like to doing, and that's I think like the main reason that we like hit off, and it was like fire. I was like,
I deadlifted 500 pounds a day. I made sure to show him
that
what
was
I
that
could do.
day.
Yeah, that was one of the days I
think it was.
I used to do
day.
it all the time, but I remember he walked into the gym and I was like, oh God, the ground's shaking. This dude's massive. And he was walking, his legs were stiff. So this dude's quads are massive, so he walks with straight legs.
Dude, y'all, I don't know why y'all were hyping me up that day. Like, y'all were all saying, like, dude, this guy's huge. I was like, dude, I'm feeling jacked today, I guess. Because I didn't come in there thinking that, but y'all made me feel like it. I was like, dang, that's sick.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first time I've had, like, supportive, like, for real supportive people, like, oh, man, you actually look good. Because, like, I've had a lot of people train with me and stuff before, but it was more of that, like, that friendly banter of, like, oh, you're small.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, y'all were the first people to, like, legit just be, like, straight up, like, dude, you're big. And I was like, what?
Trying to keep the competition comfortable.
I was thrown off. I was thrown off by that.
If he thinks he's big, he won't train hard anymore, all right? That's the whole point. It's to throw him off.
Exactly. He's tricking me.
Yeah.
I guess one thing that, like, we really need to talk about in this first podcast is just, like, why we're doing this and what you're going to hear on the podcast, because it will be pretty random. I'm not going to lie. Like, we're just kind of here and we're just kind of talking. No Man's Land is I don't even really know what I want to call it. It's clothing, it's content, it's going to be a bunch of stuff. But it started off as just the name for the garage gym that we used to train in at my house. And all of the guys that I mentioned kind of already, Dylan and Carter and all them, like, everybody just knew, like, this was called No Man's Land. And eventually, I've always had aspirations and stuff to have, like, a clothing brand and make content and stuff. So it all just became one thing. And now we're having a podcast, mainly because me and Tristan, for, like, years now, have just not, like, had a good schedule to where we can designate time to, like, talk and train and all this stuff. So one day I was driving and I was just like, dude, I was talking to myself, okay? I talk to myself whenever nobody's around, and I just have discussions with myself. But anyways, I was like, man, it would be really nice to just talk to somebody that, like, has a lot of experience and stuff, and it kind of is in the same area as me in life, and obviously love talking to Tristan. So I was like, I hit him up. I was like, dude, you want to try to do a podcast? I know we can't hang out, as much as we want to, and I definitely want to surround myself with, people that I aspire to be, and, Tristan's that guy. So that's kind of where this came from. Now, as far as, like, what we're going to talk about, it's going to be a lot of stuff. One, it's going to, be just life in general. So we're going to talk about just faith, growing in life. It's not so much us being some crazy experts at everything in life, because we're not. We're not that person. Yes, there's things that I feel that I'm very strong with, as far as it comes to, like, training and stuff. As some of you guys know, some of y'all don't, I am an online fitness coach. So I do have, like, a lot of knowledge in that area, but there's a lot of things that I don't. And so this whole podcast is going to be kind of us just growing, learning, sharing experiences with y'all. And, if you can take anything away from it, that's really all we want, but there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot in there. So if you find anything, interesting or helpful, then that's all that matters for us, really. What do you think is going to be? What do you think is going to happen? Because we honestly, me and Tristan have talked about this a little bit, but like we haven't really like talked much about anything regarding the actual content we're going to be talking about.
Well, like he said, it's kind of going to be a random mix of things because usually we only train with each other once every month or couple months, so we don't see each other much. And every time we get together and we train, it takes 3-4 hours because we talk a lot. We catch up a lot, and so figured why not make it something that can be productive and maybe people can learn from it. So combined, we have 20 years of experience with training, close to it, so 2 decades, and we've both done research and dug deep into that stuff. And then there's other facets of it too. So I mean, I dive deep into spiritual related stuff, Christianity and stuff. So there will be opportunities to talk about that, and that's kind of the whole brand. No Man's Land is, to my understanding, it started with the area of war that nobody enters because there's certain danger in it is no man's land. And I think the idea initially was about training where very few people enter that realm of
like straight up intensity and just going to places where other people usually won't go with training. But it's kind of transitioning now.
Yeah, exactly.
In a way, we're still keeping that because like that's the core, and like that's always going to be very important to us because No Man's Land at the end of the day, like pretty much everybody involved is like into bodybuilding or just working out, whatever it is. I don't really care. But there is some kind of aspect of like health and fitness that will always be there with it. But we do want to incorporate a lot more like faith, and I think that's going to be very important to do with the brand. So I don't know if there's going to be any like rebranding like physically or anything yet, but it's a potential. I really do like the logo. I really do like everything that we've come up with so far. So I'm not really sure, but
we also talked about the play on words because
play on words is like where I'm really leaning.
Yeah,
I really am leaning that way.
The No Man's Land, very few people enter this realm of intensity when they train, but also, No Man's Land, when we're talking about war, you can bring it to spiritual warfare where it's a dangerous place to be in the spiritual realm as well. So
yeah, we
realize like the wording of it can plug into many different aspects of life.
Yeah. It's just, there's a lot of plays on words. Like another is like, you have all of these, soldiers or whatever, you could say followers, whatever it is, that are in the trenches, but maybe aren't, what's the word? Maybe just aren't brave enough to kind of step out into the unknown territory, And I think that kind of, like that play on words there, I feel like that's going to be where we're really going to focus things. But we'll talk more about the No Man's Land stuff. I just wanted to give you guys like a brief introduction of what it is and kind of the whole idea of like, this is also, I didn't even get to this. The Instagram, if you don't follow the Instagram, which you should, it's nml.mob, M-O-B. So the No Man's Land Mob ended up how we made the name of the podcast. It's the Mobcast. It's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty sick.
When do you get a new banner, bro?
I know we're gonna get a new banner. As far as what's going on in here, we're just upstairs in No Man's Land in the gym, the home gym, and as time goes and things grow, obviously the production value of everything will also grow. We're just learning. Like I just opened up these mics today, so we're figuring things out as we go.
And we're going to try to be consistent, honestly. This is like, we've tried so many times to try different things related to content and media, but we fall off.
Yeah,
but
we do.
Yeah.
I just think this is cool because we can kind of just sit here and like talk. And that was the big thing is like, I was like, Tristan, like we can totally do this. We just have to come here and talk and be comfortable
and be real.
And just be real. We're just gonna be real. Like this is raw. Like there's no cutting and stuff in these, unless we have like a mic failure or something or a camera failure. I don't know if anyone turned the camera on. Is the camera recording?
Imagine we just
Is-
have audio. Maybe
Does the camera have something on the screen? We have two special guests in here. My girlfriend Lauren, my wonderful girlfriend Lauren, and Tristan. Tristan, who do you have here?
My wife Haley, because I'm married fairly recently. Yeah,
He's married.
it's wild. It's still weird to say that.
Sometimes I don't remember, and like I just refer to Haley as his girlfriend, but it's not. That's his wife.
Yeah, so
They're here.
Reese needs to change his situation soon, so. But
We'll get there.
Yeah,
We'll get there one day. But that's another cool thing that we can talk about. I mean, I feel like our audience is probably going to be younger guys, like, and I'm cool with that. I feel like that's kind of who I want it to be in a way. Like, if there are older guys or whatever watching, it's awesome, cool. But I do think like most of our audience will be younger guys, and if you are going to have some knowledge and stuff on being married, we can always share all those little ins and outs of things. Everything.
I still feel like a boy myself, like a young man.
I've heard that you always will feel like that. So
yeah.
I don't know how that's going to ever change, but I hope it doesn't. I don't want to feel like an old man one day.
I mean, bro, we're pushing 30.
I think
we're 24. We're
I think,
pushing 30. Come on now.
I know. We are both 24. Yeah. Sometimes I forget how old I am. Like, I was thinking about it.
It's crazy.
Because I was thinking about how I'm going to introduce myself in here. I was like, I'm going to say I'm 25 or something. I'm not. I'm 24 still. I always forget. ever since after 21 is like I forget my age.
I always think I'm 23. Like, I like to think I'm younger than I am, but
yeah, it's cool.
You have Are you ready for the prompts?
For the props?
The prompts, bro.
Prompts.
Segue into
Yeah. Let's talk.
points.
I've got some points that
he had some ideas, so I don't know. And he won't tell me anything.
I've been wanting to
now.
tell Tristan, like, for literally, we've been talking about this for about at least a month now, and I couldn't tell him some of my topics because it would ruin it for the podcast.
He didn't want to exhaust the conversation on the topics
Yeah.
before getting in front of microphones.
Yeah. So this is something that I started feeling really weird about. It's specifically about social media, and more specifically about Snapchat. And I know a lot of you guys watching have Snapchat, or maybe had it, but a lot of you still do have it. Because I know a lot of you guys that are going to be watching this first time, and I know you have Snapchat. But anyways, I started feeling like I was just kind of wondering why I had Snapchat still. Because like when I was in high school, like it was popping off, and that's probably when it was at its like biggest point. And it's kind of one of those apps where you could like, dude, you could hit up so many girls in just once.
This man is bold.
My
boy.
girlfriend's in here listening right now, but you could hit up like so many girls or whatever. You could send one picture and send it to like every girl on your friends list.
I never did that. I never did that.
It's so funny. No, but like just in general, like I feel like maybe it's just at the age that we're at now, but the way that I communicate with people is I try first to call, and then, text if I know somebody's at work or whatever. But, the whole Snapchat thing just ends up taking up a lot of my energy and time, and it kind of feels like it takes me away from like reality. So my biggest reference would be if I'm at the grocery store and I'm just standing in line, maybe there's some people around me waiting in line as well. I'll just like instantly grab my phone out of my pocket and just like put my face in it and like just go on Snapchat. For me, Snapchat was that app that I would just pull up and just start scrolling through. It wasn't Instagram. It wasn't any of those. It was just Snapchat. I would just go through and start like clicking through things. And I wasn't aware of everything going on around me. Like all the people around me, I feel like I couldn't just start a normal conversation with those people. Like there was just nothing that I could think of to talk, and I kind of just didn't want to. I just wanted to be in my own space with my phone, just locked in. And I hate that. I really do. I think it's terrible. I think that I need to improve on like social interaction, just like the random social interaction in life,
For sure.
because you never know what you might learn or what you might help somebody with or whatever. Like just talking to somebody, just a simple conversation can maybe make somebody's day. And if you make somebody's day, it definitely makes your day feel a little bit better. But I just really struggle with that. I wanted to know your opinions because I know you have some social media things that you've tried in the past. But for me, that's definitely the worst part about some social medias and just phones in general. Like honestly, just obviously technology, we have a computer in our pocket that we can pull out anytime and just get away from reality. But I feel like I want to work on that. And so for me, I went ahead and just deleted Snapchat. Like one thing that was hard for me, one reason that it was hard for me to do that is because I have so many pictures and like training footage and stuff just stored on Snapchat. So like just going in and like actually deleting my whole account, I didn't do that. I just like signed out. And if I have to go back in, if somebody like my little brother hit me up, he was like, dude, I sent you some on Snapchat. Like I'll go sign in real quick, sign back out. Eventually I want to be able to like completely be off of it, but that's where I'm at right now. So I just want to hear your opinions on all of that.
Well, so like this is something I've had plenty of time to think about because I've had plenty of time to battle with it in my own way. So your poison was Snapchat. For me, it was always Instagram and YouTube. Those two specifically, I would waste countless hours on, and you do miss out a lot. You miss out on a lot of things in life with that. For you, it was social interaction, and that's for a lot of people. I think social anxiety is a big thing now with young people because of a lot of the social media we have. You don't have to have personal interactions, and you miss out on what could be a wealth of wisdom and knowledge from people because you're not interacting, or you're missing out on opportunities to network. But yeah, so that's one aspect of it, and then another part is social media. You know, the saying "comparison is the thief of joy." Social media is full of highlights of people's lives, so you're seeing people at the peaks of life. And my thing is, the more you see somebody posting on social media, in my opinion, the general theme I see is that person's less happy with real life. And that's what I've noticed. And ever since I deleted Instagram and YouTube and I spent less time on my phone and more time with the people around me, my life has gotten dramatically better.
Yeah. What's weird for me is like, so besides me being an online coach and literally working one-on-one with people all the time, I have no problem conversating with them or having any issue with that. I'm also in sales. Like I sell fitness equipment. So I'm talking to random strangers all the time. But for me, what's different is when I am talking to these people, I know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. I know how to start conversations. I do it all the time. Like I'm familiar with it. But when it comes to just like literally talking to some random stranger, that's what gets me. And it's not that I can't do it, because I know that I can talk to anybody, and I've learned so many social skills and like just how to talk to people. It's just that like I just don't. I just don't. And it's not that I don't want to. I just don't. Like I'll sit there and I just can't. And it's so weird. But I don't know. That's definitely something that I'm working on, and I want to let y'all know. And that's kind of like I said earlier. We just want to inform y'all on things we're working on and how we're trying to improve on those. And maybe if those tips or whatever we have can help you, then that's awesome. As far as the other side that you were talking about of the social media,
The comparison?
I've struggled with this a little bit, but not to the extent of Tristan. And everybody's different. Everybody's going to have different. What do you have to say? Everyone's going to have different struggles.
Well, you know, there was another big part of it too, though. 2019, with everything going on with COVID and the politics and all that, if you were not politically charged and you were on social media a lot, it almost like you almost felt tugged into politics at that point. And I found myself also going down that route where I was starting to despise certain people. And so I was like, oh, this is just not healthy altogether.
Yeah.
And so that was another aspect.
Sure.
But
I think for me, I kind of get, because I used to post a lot on Instagram. I was actually really committed for a while, even YouTube. I would post a lot of content. And I knew just from doing it a lot that everything you see on Instagram and all that, it's fake. Like,
Yes.
it's the best pictures, video, angles, lighting, everything that they can get to look as good as possible. That's what you see. And I knew that because I did it so much. Like, I used to take maybe like, dude, I'm not even kidding, like 100 pictures before I could like find one that I would post, you know, with different lightings and all that stuff. I would sit there for hours trying to get these pictures for social media, and they still came out mid. But they would still come out mid, but like
still mid, but
I just knew that, and I think that kind of helped me not worry about it so much, you know, nowadays. Like, I'll go through and, I'm like, I'll look at a guy's physique and I'll be like, man, I really wish that I could look like that or whatever.
Yeah.
I think everybody will always have that.
But they don't even look like that.
Right. They don't even look like that. If you just see them walking around, they totally don't look like that.
I think that's part of our problem, though, too, why we can never stay consistent is I know him and he knows me, and we're both, like, we want to be real people. We don't want to glamorize everything and make it look like something it's not and sell false expectations. We are real and we want to be real. And so I think podcasting is a better route for that.
Yeah, it's for sure. It's a cool thing because, like, we're just literally talking, conversating. It's raw. This is real. Like I said, we're not going to cut things unless we have to for, like, production reasons. But as far as everything else, this is the kind of normal stuff that we talk about. And that's what we want it to be about. And I think, you know, we're going to try maybe every 2 weeks at least to get something for you guys. I am going to, like, break these podcasts up into clips. So you probably are, if you're watching the full thing right now, you've probably already seen a couple clips here and there of it. That'll be on social media, like, you know, Instagram and I don't know, probably just Instagram, honestly. And then YouTube will post the full thing and Spotify will post the full thing. What do you have? Do you have anything you want to talk about? Anything, any points?
Do you have another point?
Let me see. I think I did.
I mean, like I said, we can talk for hours, but
yeah,
we should keep it probably in a direction that you're.
I don't remember what time we started today. Does it have a timer on it? 27 minutes. 27 minutes. That's all right.
Another reason we're never consistent on social media is we're both fat.
Yeah, it's really easy
to talk about.
Yeah, no, for real. Look, the time that I was most consistent on and posting content, and look, here's one thing too. Like, I know you mentioned it earlier about like social media almost being like bad in a way. Like, you can first off learn a lot from social media. Mm-hmm. If you're following the right people, it really matters who you're following or what you're following and what you're seeing on your page, what you're liking, what you're commenting on, because the way the algorithm works now, all that stuff really does matter. And yeah, if you're following the wrong people that you're not learning anything from, then you're going to feel the way that you felt.
Yeah.
And you can still feel that way with following the right people. But at the end of the day, like, Instagram is just too good of a, like, tool.
It's a tool. It needs to be a tool.
Exactly. It's too good of a tool. You can't, it's not like it used to be. You used to get on Instagram, you used to post your life and all that stuff. That's a whole different side, you know? I'm just being honest, like, a lot of the people that I went to high school with, I went through and just, like, deleted everybody. Not that I don't like any of y'all or anything. It was just because I need my feed for the stuff that I do see, because I will go through and, like, swipe through stuff. I need it to be stuff that I can learn from. And, you know, just seeing everybody's life and all that stuff. Like,
let's be real. Not just that. Most of y'all are haters and don't like our stuff anyway. I don't know why y'all even follow us. To be honest with you.
He's spitting
I wish
fast.
most of y'all would unfollow me, because it's like, if you're not going to like it, why are you following me?
That's true. Yeah, if you don't like the content and stuff, it doesn't matter. You don't need to follow us.
You have sentimental, like, attachment to people, because it's like, oh, I went to school with this person.
Like, you know this person. Like, and it's crazy.
But you're
it's like,
hating.
to be honest, in high school, like, I was never like a super like outgoing, talkative person or anything. I was pretty shy.
And he hated everybody.
I kind of kept to myself. I was really sad and stuff in high school. It just like depressed and quiet, and I was cool with everybody. You know, I was one of those people that was just kind of like, I was nice to everybody, and everybody was nice to me in return, or most people. But but I'm calling calling out this one person. But no, like I think you were kind of like the same way. Like neither of us were like jocks or whatever you want to call it.
That's why I like this guy, is because I could go with hang out with anybody. Now there were certain groups I didn't hang around because, you know, it was like that, I don't know, they thought too much of themselves. But yeah, like I would, you know, that kid hanging out by himself in the cafeteria, go sit with that kid, talk to him.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty enjoyable.
It is. You get to learn a lot from people like that. Yeah. You just don't know.
And they're just as weird as you are. I mean, that's great.
Yeah. Now I will say, whenever I went to ULL for just a semester. That's a college, guys, around here, Lafayette, Louisiana. Oh, we're in Louisiana, by the way. We haven't mentioned that. But yeah, I went there for photography. It was just something that I was interested in, and my parents really wanted me to try college. I didn't really know how it was going to go, so I just wanted to do something that I thought would be like interesting and kind of fun. And I was in a lot of the art classes, you know, with a lot of the art kids. And, dude, they did not accept me.
The art kids?
They didn't accept me.
You know why?
They didn't accept me.
You were too cool for the art kids.
I tried so hard to be nice to these kids.
Yeah.
And, like, literally, like, just talk to them and like, have conversations. And, like, they rejected me. Maybe it was because I looked like a tool and looked like a workout guy or something. And they thought I was an asshole.
We both kind of were like, I guess we're too cool for the theater and art kids, and we're not cool enough for the jocks. I mean, I don't know. We kind of we're the cast outs. We're the lonely people.
We fall in the skateboard look.
We don't look like we should be on skateboards.
No,
come on,
not anymore. Maybe back then.
I mean, I can still shred, but
yeah, this guy's actually nuts. If anybody,
he can sing though. I mean,
we'll throw up a clip of Tristan skateboarding.
Of Reese singing.
It's kind of terrifying, honestly. When Tristan skateboards, it's like
I look like
the
a primate.
ground feels. Whenever he falls, like the ground is literally gonna explode. Like you're too big to do that, man.
He's calling me fat. Man.
You're too big.
Hey.
Look, falling back when we were like smaller,
didn't hurt as much.
Falling did not hurt. Like it was so easy to just fall and you just get back up and you just keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, what was that? Like a couple of years ago, we were trying to skateboard. It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, we got the scooter out too.
Oh yeah, the skateboard.
So I can scoot really well.
And dude, anytime you fall, you fall like that, it's not the same, dude. It's like slapping a bunch of meat straight on the ground, slapping a big old ribeye, just slap it right on the ground.
Slapping a bunch of meat on the ground.
It's pretty painful. I don't know how people do it that are like big, you know.
We got so sidetracked from your initial talking point.
What were we talking about?
Before you didn't even get to your second point.
Let me get to the second point.
We're talking about being fat, so I guess we circled back around properly.
Yeah.
But that was a part of our inconsistency.
So this is a pretty. We could talk about this probably for a very long time.
Oh gosh.
This is my notes. I'm going to read my notes out loud that I literally wrote on here first. But so for a while, recently actually, I'd say before the past, I wouldn't say a whole year, but at least 6 months or so, training for me has been really hard. And it's been hard, like, as in, like, yeah, I do look forward to working out and stuff, but, like, I haven't looked forward to training the way that I used to, and training as like intense and stuff. I think it's causing me to just not even look forward to a lot of workouts. Now, we've been able to get a couple workouts in recently, and I'm stoked. Like I'm so excited the day before to train. Like, and that's how it used to be every single day. Every day I would like go home from my workout and already start thinking about the next workout.
Yeah.
And I was so pumped. I would get my mindset so ready to train the next day. and it would just be so easy. Like everything was so easy. And now, and it could be a lot of things, but we have busy schedules. Things are a lot different than they used to be. Working 2 jobs, then I'm trying to do the content and all this stuff on top of it, and then train. Fitting all that into one day is like, it's pretty rough, and it just makes you maybe not like be as prepared mentally for the gym. But another aspect is that I used to channel a lot of like anger and sadness and rage and everything that used to fuel my workouts. Like I would just put all that in there, and it was that therapy, session that a lot of people say that that's why they train, is like therapy for them.
But now he's not angry or sad.
But exactly. So I'm just like genuinely a happier person at this point in my life.
He's got his future wife, who supports him and loves him, and that has taken his edge away from the gym.
Tristan literally has a wife.
I have a wife, but I'm still pissed off. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, I'm just saying. I feel like I've gone through a lot of
He went soft.
trials and tribulations and different jobs and routes in life, and I've tried a lot of things. And I'm only 24.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm finally like heading in the right direction, and it's taken away a lot of stress, like so much stress and just anxiousness and everything that goes with it. And I'm happy, and I can't put that same aggression that I used to into my workouts. And I do think that like is hindering my intensity levels a little bit.
So what Reese is saying is he has peace in his life now, and he gets it now from something that supersedes the gym.
Yeah.
Right? And it's beyond the gym. Whereas the peace came only from killing his body in the gym. Now it doesn't have to come from that.
Yeah.
And I can attest to that. I trained with this guy, and that's why NML, No Man's Land, made so much sense. Is my first time training with him at his house, especially, I didn't want to come back. It was brutal, and it was something I wasn't used to. It was an intensity level beyond what I was used to training at. And I can say that, yeah, over the last year, that intensity has dropped a lot. Part of it might be, too, because we're both heavier than we've ever been in our lives for a consistent period of time.
Yeah.
I almost feel like my energy levels are just overall lower. So
Yeah. No. We train really hard at NML. All of us, all of the guys, all of the homies.
It was sickening.
Super sickening. And I think everybody should go through that in their fitness journey.
Yeah.
You should, like, overtrain,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like, try not to hurt yourself as much as you can, but, like, you definitely should get to that level of intensity to where you pretty much feel like you've overtrained. Like, your nervous system should feel a little bit wrecked. And this is, like, bad advice, right? Like, I'm literally telling some of you guys to wreck your nervous system and overtrain. Your muscles aren't going to recover. But what you're going to learn from that session, even if it's just, like, one leg day, the amount of, like, just, I don't even know what you want to call it. You're just going to learn what it's like to actually train. And then whenever you go into your next workout, I guarantee you're going to push it a little bit harder than you were before. You don't have to go to that level of intensity all the time. You shouldn't.
But you will at least unlock and achieve a new idea of what intensity actually means for the rest of your working out, your training career. And, yeah, like, my mistake was I showed up for a leg day, and we have a friend, Carter, who is a nutcase, and so I was with both of them, and it was disgusting, because usually I'm the guy who brings somebody through a training session, and they are throwing up or want to throw up at the end, whereas now I'm that guy being brought through the training session. And that's why I think, like Reese said, it is necessary to surround yourself with people who will push you and put you through that, because there's levels to it. Like I said, I'm pushing people to the point that where they want to throw up, and then I'm being pushed to that. So there's levels you have to go through.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of levels for sure. And, like, I feel like you can always keep one-upping it a little bit, It's just that maybe it's just the competitiveness that you can always one-up it. I will say Carter is an absolute psycho when it comes to training. Like, he's got more intensity than any of us in the group.
And I'm not exaggerating. You're at failure. Your muscles aren't moving anymore.
Yeah.
And Carter will scream in your ear and say 10 more.
10 more.
10 more.
Carter,
it's like, Carter, what are you talking about?
Carter will be a special guest. He is part of the NML brand, and he will be on the podcast.
Just don't give him any caffeine before,
yeah,
or smelling salts.
Can't give him any smelling salts or caffeine before. He might flip the table. But he will be on here, so y'all get to know him a little bit better, and maybe understand. Well, maybe all of us together can figure out how this man is so intense to the point that he is.
We might figure out that we're going to dig deep and find the trauma that he has that causes him to want to hurt himself so bad.
Yes, to train that hard. But basically, I mean, everybody, like I said, should train that hard. I tell all of my clients that, like, you need to have those workouts. Especially, I think on leg days, it's probably the easiest one to push yourself that hard. Just because your muscles in your legs can take a little bit more, especially more than you think that you can put out. So, and it's probably one of the safer ones to, like, push it hard without, like, risking injury and stuff. But if you just simply do, like, a crazy set of leg extensions, like 50 rep set of leg extensions, maybe where you drop the weight or do something, some kind of intensity methods, like, you can push it to that point to where you feel it. But
with the silly little partial reps, because understand those are effective.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I think it's something everybody should do. I think try it on your leg days if you haven't. You need to. Leg days are the best, honestly, too.
They're the worst.
They're the best.
I mean, they're the most torturous.
I think. What's your favorite muscle to train? Or your favorite day? Let me say that.
Anytime I get to bench press.
That's
I like legs too. They are. So the thing is, you have to go into a leg day with the right mindset of, okay, I am here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to torture myself, essentially.
Yeah.
And I like squatting, so that's not something a lot of people like because it's difficult to do, but I get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Dude, for leg days, you have to, if you're really going to train legs right and train them hard, me and Tristan are on the same split right now. We're hitting legs once a week. We're training only 4 days a week too, as well. So
that'll come with maturity as well.
That'll come with you learning. I used to train every day.
Yeah.
Then it went to 6 days and 5 days, and realized that 4 days is really all I need. But we'll talk about that in depth in another video or podcast. But preparing yourself mentally for the gym is super important. And I think that's something that I've slacked off on, and I've started picking it up again recently. But just on my way to the gym, put on some music or whatever, or just nothing. If you're really crazy, you just put nothing on. You just sit in the silence and listen to your brain pulse, your head.
That's when you knew. That's when you, like, I'm sorry, but back to Carter, bro. Like, this man's usually blaring music and going nuts. Yeah. If he comes in quiet and has not used music, he's on a different level of psychopath. But yeah,
you should, like, seriously, like, think about, and even if it's the night before or whatever. My sleep used to be bad. I never had, like, really bad issues with sleeping, but the days that I couldn't fall asleep is because I was thinking of training the next day.
Me too. Or I trained too hard that day.
Or your nervous system is destroyed. Yeah. But yeah, it was usually like me just, like, literally just getting so pumped up to just smash legs the next day. And then I would go, if I was in high school still, this is how it would play out. Like, okay, the day before, we just trained, after school, whatever, go home, try to go to bed, can't go to bed because I'm thinking about training, then go to class the next day, and literally all day throughout school just think about the training session that I'm going to have after school, and honestly not pay much attention. Sorry, Mom. But, I still did good, Mom. But just thinking of, like, how that workout's going to go, especially on leg days for me, because I always liked that extra intensity that you could put into leg days. Yeah. Which is why I think my legs are, like, not a weak point. And you have to go to that that
Shots
place.
fired.
You have to go. Dude, you have good legs too.
I don't have good legs.
You have good legs.
I got woman legs.
You have to go to that place though to grow your legs. Like you do have to push it at the extra mile. That's
Indeed.
why a lot of people don't have like any kind of development in their legs. It's just they just haven't gone to that place. It's not because their legs can't grow. It's just because they haven't consistently been at that level.
Yeah, that's what I've had to learn. Is like you don't go. I'm gonna do 3 sets of 10 here, 4 sets of 10 here, and I learned that with Reese is doing very unconventional rep schemes and just overall ranges of motion and really taxing the leg in every way you possibly can.
Yeah,
has been a big factor for growth.
Yeah, your legs. You're literally using your legs all day, like all the time. You know, unless you're sitting all day, but most people are using their legs more than any other muscle, and it takes a little bit more to get through to them. And they're a huge muscle group. Like you have huge muscles in your quads, your hamstring, your glutes. It's all huge, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of weight. So if you're not training heavy enough on legs, you're not going to get any growth. Okay, I don't care who you are, especially if you're a natty guy. I'm sorry. But if you don't train legs heavy enough, they're just not going to grow. Like you need some weight. Okay, there is definitely the time, and it's very valuable to have the more like high volume days as well, or just high volume exercises. For me, that's always been kind of like leg extension, right? Because, yeah, if you go super heavy on a leg extension, sure, you'll get something out of it, but I'd rather get better range of motion and then do some of those like techniques that you said, like the partials and all that stuff that really push the pump to the next level, and then get some kind of really good stretch, maybe in between sets or something. Like do something that really stretches your quads, if it's a hack squat or if it's just standing there doing like a sissy squat or whatever. You need kind of all of those things combined to get like a crazy leg day. It's not like any other muscle groups where like chest, like, dude, you could go hit literally just incline chest press, and I guarantee your chest is going to grow. Like that,
like
can
10
be your
sets
only,
of pec deck.
Yeah, you could just do 10 sets of that, your chest is going to grow. Legs don't work like that. There's a lot more. There's different muscles all over.
They need
legs.
a lot. And if you're a young guy, don't be scared to put some weight on your back and squat some weight. You know, I see too many people messing around with accessory machines with light weight, expecting to get that development off the bat from that. If you want to get development early on, do compound movements. You need to squat. Do a heavy hack squat, something that's going to put mass on your quads, and then you can worry about the definition later on.
Honestly, that's the biggest, like one of the most important tips for anybody that's just starting out training in general. And I wish I would have done this when I started. That was for me like the first couple years that I didn't know what I was doing. I was doing so many accessories, and like for back day, like I would literally just do like lat pull downs, maybe like a mid cable row.
Same.
I don't know. That's probably it, honestly. You know, stuff like that versus getting in there and doing like either deadlifts or some heavy rows, any compound movements. So, I mean, the quick tip is for any of you guys just starting out, compound movements, get stronger on those. Even if you're just going to the gym like 3 times a week and just doing compounds, like you're going to get stronger and it's going to help you a lot more overall, versus you just like going to the gym every single day, overtraining, doing all kinds of accessory stuff, like trying to just get the craziest pump ever, right? The pump matters a little bit, but it's not the most important thing when it comes to building muscle. Just being straight up, guys. Just being straight up.
Yeah. And I want to circle back real quick. You know, talking about not being able to sleep prior to waking up for a workout, or you train too hard, but I would say it borderlined anxiety almost for me. Is like I would have training anxiety because I was anticipating the session so much, but also like there was a terrifying aspect of it. And it's really weird, but there was a phase that I was going through where every leg day I would feel nauseous before going to the gym. Like I would be that anxious about going in and squatting and doing legs. And I don't know if it was anxiety or if I had some nerve issues in my neck. I don't know what it was, but there was a stretch of like 3 months. Every morning before legs, I would feel like I had to throw up. I could not put food in my stomach. And if I drank too much fluid, I would throw up before I went in the gym. And I was like, this...
Were you training like really hard at that time?
Really hard. And so it was like I was over-anticipating the workout possibly.
No, you can definitely do that too.
So if anybody's going through that, I mean, I guess I wouldn't say it's normal, but You're not the only one.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say, like, for a long time, I did do legs twice a week, and I didn't split it up like hamstring
Dude's
quads.
nuts.
I think that's too much. I think that's too much, though. Like, I was literally sore going into my workouts.
Yeah.
So if you need to take, like, a week where you're focusing on, like, being extremely intense, right? Maybe not to the level of going to failure on every single exercise. Like, that's a little bit too much. But picking maybe an exercise or two and kind of going to failure, maybe a set or two on each of those.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. That's what you need to do, consistently. But there's definitely days where you can push it a little bit harder.
We kind of, bro.
What?
This could be a whole episode on intensity. You might have to save some of this.
Well, yeah,
Because we're talking about sets now.
Well, I think what we should do, bro, honestly.
Do you have any more
We're
bullet
at
points?
50
Real
minutes.
quick? Any more bullet
I don't
points?
have any more
We can
bullet
hit an
points.
hour. You want to hit an hour?
Yeah, we can hit an hour. But honestly, I think on these, we can make, like, just content videos, too.
Yeah.
Sorry, the audience is speaking. The audience said we can take some clips. We can take some clips and make. Anyways,
The audience is speaking.
the audience is speaking.
Can we get a laugh in the crowd, please? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm sorry.
So I think what we can do is make, like, specific content type videos and just put it on NML on the Instagram.
You want, like,
do,
some clips right now?
do, like, short, like, maybe, I don't know, 5-minute videos of, like, specific things or reels on
Right now?
Instagram. But that would be something we wouldn't film like this. We'd film it differently.
Wouldn't you want to film it like this and then, like,
No, it'd be
Clip
cool.
it?
Nah, we'll film it better.
so what are we doing with this right now?
Oh, I don't know.
We still talking?
Yeah, we're talking. I mean, we have.
I
Let's try to hit
asked-
an hour. For me, like, I don't know about you guys who've watched podcasts, or if y'all are still watching. If you're still watching, you're a legend. Like, you're actually.
If there's, like, even one human being.
If
that
there's
made it
one
this
human
far-
being that's this far, you're a legend.
Yeah.
And one day, whenever this blows up,
Because it will blow up.
and we're literally on, like, episode 1,000, and
We'll give you
you DM us
$5,000.
and we make sure that you did watch it. We'll give you something. We'll give you some clothes.
We'll give you $5,000.
We won't give you $5,000.
We'll give you $5,000. I'll give you $5,000.
We'll give you.
Reese will give you a shirt.
We'll
He's
give you
cheap,
some.
but
We'll give you some clothes or something. We'll give you the whole line of clothes, whatever it is. We'll give it to you. But
Yeah.
anyways, is that it? Is that?
Did
what
you
was
have
I saying
another
before?
point, bro?
No, that was really my last point, bro.
So you only had two. Did what? I mean, because there's so many things we can talk about and spend so much time on it.
Yeah, that's another thing. All right, so if you are actually still here, human beings on the other side of this camera, we would very much appreciate any questions. Send them to the NML DMs on the
We should have
Instagram.
started with that because if there's only one person that did make
Well,
it,
I'll make it a point in the.
send us
in the
50
comments.
questions. You one person.
I'll make it a point in the comments or something below. But yeah, if you want to send any questions or anything, it doesn't matter really what it's about. If we can kind of talk about it and give our opinions. Like I said, we're not experts in everything, but if it is something that we can, like, help with or even just discuss, like have a discussion about, that's cool because we're gonna need every bit of ideas and content to come to us. Obviously, me and Tristan do have a lot of things on our minds at times. We just need to make sure we, like, write them down and don't talk about them off camera. Yeah. That's our biggest problem. Every time we have so much good stuff to say, but it's never on camera. So hopefully on this podcast, we can start doing that.
And we can put them in an order that kind of where we're not going off track
Yeah.
onto different ideas that we could have a whole
That'd be
nother
kind of
episode
cool
on.
if we have like a kind of like a storyline.
Pay an outliner.
I don't really think we will though, but
send questions, anything we can help with, because we're not going to sit here and act like we're experts. We're some scientists where it's like your latissimus dorsi gets the best contraction when you do blah blah blah. It's like, no, it's gonna be bro science but with practical experience.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be logical. So.
and we are going to talk more about faith and Christianity and everything. For me, I'll just kind of real quick just tell you all a little bit about where I am. I know we're at the end of this video. If you're still here, then you get to hear this. But I'm in the middle of like really growing in my faith, and Tristan here is a very huge help. Also, my girlfriend is a huge help as well. Wife. Tristan said wife. She's shaking her head over there. But I am really trying to learn a lot more, because I come from, just being Catholic. I went to Catholic schools and everything, and I'm just trying to deepen my faith and feel closer with God, because I feel like I've kind of struggled with that. I've gone through a lot of phases of beliefs and stuff. So that will be a topic of conversation, and it might just be me asking Tristan questions about it and learning more about it, because he's very, very knowledgeable when it comes to this stuff.
I'll say this too. This guy, for being fairly new to actually starting a journey towards his faith, has made more progress, or I have seen him be worked on more, in my opinion, by the Holy Spirit, and we can get into that later, than I have people who have professed to be Christians for 5 or 10 years, because I see him actually feeling conviction for certain things, and I think that's a big deal. And I know some people who have lived comfortably with bad lifestyles that have never felt conviction, but they profess being Christians their whole life. So, yeah, it's crazy to see how far along he's come in such a short time.
Yeah, it's weird how different everything's been feeling within just the past couple weeks. Like, it's literally been like a couple weeks, guys. Like I'm saying, like maybe 4 weeks or something, or at least 2 months at like the top. And I just feel like I'm going through a lot of like changes, and it's very interesting. It's very cool. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to like continuing this whole process, and it's dope to be able to share that with all of my friends, and obviously my girlfriend too. Why are you making noises over there? But it's really cool. Like, if you don't have that group around you too, I don't know, because I haven't had that. I mean, maybe you, Tristan, have like not had that many people around you through your journey, but like obviously I'm starting off pretty strong with having like a solid group of people to like help.
Yeah.
And like, that are actually living it and pushing me towards it more. So it makes it, I feel like it's a lot easier. If you don't have that, then you should probably look for that.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Well, you definitely should. Now, I'm going to say this. Being that we're 24 and the culture we do live in today, there's not a lot of groups me and Haley can be around as a couple that we can really feed off of, because I feel like we are an anomaly in a sense, especially me, because I've taken my faith so serious, and I've taken diving so deep into different things about it that I don't behave or conduct myself like a lot of 24-year-olds do. And that's not to like toot my own horn or anything like that. I don't want you to get the wrong idea, but it's just like I feel weird around most people my age, and I feel more comfortable amongst like middle-aged adults or older people. And I guess it's a maturity thing. I don't know, but if you can plug into a group that is like-minded to you with things like that want to better themselves with their relationship with God, more specifically, as like we'll probably be talking about more, Jesus, so if you can find people like that as a young man, that is so key to your growth.
That would, I mean, if I would have really tried to dig deeper, maybe like fresh out of high school or even in high school, like things would be a lot different now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I think everything played out the way it was supposed to in my life, and I am where I am because of the things that I've gone through. And I'm very happy where I am. So, I don't want to change that, but I am stoked to continue this. And, hopefully you guys can learn something from it, learn something from Tristan, learn something from my journey. And I think that's really it, bro. I mean, for today, I think that's a pretty solid podcast.
Yeah.
We're about to hit an hour right right in like 20 seconds. But that's episode number 1 for you guys. I know it was kind of sketch, and we don't really know exactly what we're doing, but we do know is we are doing it. And sometimes, guys, you just have to do something. Like, if you think about something for so long, you need to do it.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about shit and just do it.
This is a baby right now, all right? This podcast, this isn't.
Yeah,
it's gonna grow if we're consistent.
It's gonna grow. It's gonna grow because people are gonna relate to us. People are gonna feel some of the things that we're talking about. We're hitting on a lot of different topics. I understand that, but there's gonna be a niche group of guys that are going to relate with us and find a lot out of this. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 1. We will be back hopefully within like next 2 weeks with another episode.
Just depends on the schedules, bro. I'm cool for next week. You want to go next week, bro? Once a week.
Once a week. Oh, we'll see how this goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna upload it to computer and see how it goes. But anyways, we'll catch you guys later.
Y'all have a blessed whatever time of the day it is.
Have an amazing, probably 6 p.m. something like that.
6 p.m.
All right, peace out.